We have a star-studded lineup of analysts in the studio. Also, guests will be joining us. Let me introduce my studio guests first, who are going to make sense of what has happened today. Raj Chengappa, Editorial Director, India Today Group. Pleasure to have you here, Raj. Raj actually predicted 175 in the office sweepstakes. And you're 165.
165.
165.
And my house help who's from Bihar said 180, and he's got it almost right.
So the house help, and always trust your house helps. Manisha Priyam, Senior Lead with the London School of Economics. They're doing a study on Indian elections, and someone who's tracked Bihar right the way through for us, and she too was predicting that the Mahagathbandhan would win. In fact, next to her is the person who's now got the title of today's Chanakya for a very different reason. Surjit Balla was brave and foolish, and therefore predicted in the Indian Express in his column that the Mahagathbandhan would get 175. Ashok Malik also joining us, senior journalist, and he's been giving us a sense of what this defeat means for the BJP and what it means for the national picture. So, pleasure to have you here, Ashok. Ajit Jha, home state of Bihar, proud from the world of Mithilanchal, where there's been a grand sweep for the JDU-RJD alliance. Beyond anyone's expectations, Mithilanchal in particular, along with Magad, has really gone one way. Veer Sanghvi, former editor of the Hindustan Times, has just finished writing his column. So, he's as always multitasking and has come back, so he will give us a sense of all that's happened. And Javed Ansari joins us. He's got all the reports written by the reporters, our national affairs editor, to give us a sense of what this verdict means. But I want to go to two guests first, and we'll be getting a lot of big politicians now. Prakash Javadekar is the union minister in the government, and it's good to have you, Prakash ji, in your pink vest. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Diwali to you. Also joining me at the moment is RPN Singh of the Congress. But first, Prakash ji,
happy Diwali to all.
Happy Diwali to you, but I know that you can't burst crackers today, unlike your colleagues who are bursting them prematurely in Patna. How big a defeat is this for you? Is this a bigger setback than Delhi?
Actually, this is not, I will not say this is a bigger or smaller defeat. Defeat is defeat and win is win. The issue is very simple. We got more votes than Lok Sabha.
Right.
But what changed? The only thing changed was that the three parties which opposed each other, RJD, JDU and Congress, came together. So the mathematics of alliance worked. Their total vote share as of Lok Sabha has little gone down, but it was still more than what we have. And it was a straight contest between the two alliances.
So but isn't that something to worry? Isn't that something for you to worry? Sir,
therefore, they won more seats.
Sir,
it is as simple calculation as that.
So you are going to make it pure arithmetic, but even compared to 2014, the fact is that you've declined. So there's not just arithmetic, there was chemistry also on the other side. Doesn't that worry you? You don't seem to be worried at all. And I'm glad you have a picture of Mr. Vajpayee behind. Is that a sign of the times?
No. No, because I'm moving from one room to another room, and you have all the pictures.
Okay.
So that's not the issue. Is very simple. Atalji is inspiration for all of us.
Yes.
Today, though he cannot be active, but he inspires us all.
Yes.
Even Modi ji and everybody. The issue is very simple. Let us talk politics. The so-called secular alliance. First, I wish them well because they have won. Now Bihar, because all these three, Lalu, Congress and JDU, ruled Bihar for after independence continuously. But Bihar has remained poor, Bihar has remained undeveloped. Now the challenge for all of us is to develop Bihar also. And we as a center will be proactive and will lend all help. But they also must show the vision of real development and not of caste and religious politics which they did during election. Lalu was all the way asking votes in name of MY, Muslim and Yadav, religion and caste, and he succeeded.
Okay, so it appears at the moment that are you saying that Amit Shah's strategy, Narendra Modi's oratory and his relentless campaigning all of that hasn't all that failed? Shouldn't they be held accountable? Should someone be held accountable or not? Who is accountable for defeat?
No.
If you had won, you would have given all the credit to the
No.
Prime Minister and Amit Shah. Who do you hold accountable?
There is. See, every election is a new election. Every election is a different election. We have won the national election plus 4 states of Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir. We will rule and we will try winning more and more states. We could not win in Bihar, but now we'll concentrate on another state where there will be election. So efforts have to be made. We want to provide a good governance to all the states.
Okay, so effectively every question I've asked you, you've deflected. You're a good cricketer. You come from my home state of Maharashtra, so you're a good cricketer from Pune. You play on good batting wickets there, so you know how to deflect every ball that I've thrown at you. RPN Singh, you want to respond? First of all, RPN Singh, you will concede that you were actually not sure of these numbers. This figure is way beyond your wildest expectations. Congress has ended up with what, 27 seats? I mean, your strike rate is phenomenal. So would you concede that it is beyond your wildest expectations, and will you concede that you got Darbhanga wrong and I got it right?
Well, I concede, Rajdeep, you got the whole election right. You, right from the beginning, were sure that the Mahagathbandhan was going to sweep. So I congratulate you, and I take this opportunity to also congratulate Mr. Bhalla in your studio. And a happy Diwali to all of you. And I hope you heard the crackers from Patna to Delhi. And I hope for the BJP they're still in India and not in Pakistan. As far as he talked about introspection, we hear a lot of BJP leaders now talking about introspection. If they had started introspecting when the writers, scientists, film critics, people who won Padma Bhushans, Padma Vibhushans, and they had started introspective and not started calling it a manufactured protest. I hope today we don't have Jadvekarji and other BJP leaders saying it's a manufactured verdict.
But what does that have to do with Bihar?
That the government...
No, what does all this have to do with Bihar? Let's be, to some extent, Prakash Javadekar is right. The mathematics worked in favor of the BJP. If you look at those numbers, 178 versus 59, part of it is also mathematics. The caste alliances were far stronger than what you have. Why are you bringing in the writers' revolt now into this issue of the Bihar elections?
I'm talking about intolerance. I'm talking about, this is what the BJP, this is the campaign they ran, Rajdeep. We spoke about, we had the Prime Minister talking about communal disharmony. We had the BJP President talking about communal disharmony. And it is not just caste equation. You cannot win what Mr. Jadvekarji has said. He's a very seasoned and senior politician. It is not just two caste voting. Throughout Bihar, the common man, the farmer, the poor man, the people of Bihar have voted against all odds for this Mahagathbandhan and rejecting what the BJP tried to do in Bihar. It was very evident in the whole election, and I'm very sorry to say it was more than caste. You don't get a 2/3 majority with 2 or 3 castes voting for you.
That point will be also conceded. That's a point well made, that it is not just 2 or 3 castes that have voted for you. I just want to get one final word from Mr. Javadekar before I widen this. Mr. Javadekar, are you at any stage going to consider the prospect that this was an election which you could have won, even though you had a formidable alliance against you, if you had just placed the focus squarely on what was your original narrative of development? You allowed yourself to get distracted. You brought in the cow, you brought in Darbhanga module, you brought in reservations. Did you get distracted? You brought in crackers in Pakistan. These were all extraneous issues. You should have focused relentlessly on development. Will you concede that?
Rajdeep, I can concede one thing, that as we used to have one-day election, now we have 35 days election spread over 5 phases. So some distractions which you don't want also enter into scenario. But still the narrative has not really been bad. What happened was that the whole combination of forces and working together of three different parties. Though we increased our vote share,
Right.
we are 36%, they are 45%. So there will be always be win of 9%.
That's a huge
And
win.
They have got it.
No, no, that's
So
9%
now what
is
we
very
need
easy.
to do is
Yes.
to take Bihar forward. And we are very much positive on that.
You will actually work. You will actually
And
work
every
with Nitish Kumar.
election is a new election, and we analyze, yes, and we analyze each result,
Right.
and we draw lessons from it, and we are a thinking party, so we improve.
Are you a thinking party? Okay, you're a thinking party. The Congress presumably therefore is an unthinking party, RPN Singh, because Rahul Gandhi went to the extent today of saying that this government has not even started going into first gear. Now let's be honest, the Congress has won this election as the B team of Lalu and Nitish. You have piggybacked on them, C team of these two. So I mean, you know, the way Rahul Gandhi was speaking today suggested that he believes that, you know, his time has come. You have tough elections ahead of you next year. Assam, Kerala, all these are
But
tough
I have to
elections
go.
where you will face anti-incumbency.
Well, definitely, Rajdeep, but he was the man who actually got this coalition going. He's the man who got Nitish Kumar into this Mahagathbandhan and asked him to lead this Mahagathbandhan. The whole planning of the Mahagathbandhan was done with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. And if you see Nitish Kumar leading the Mahagathbandhan and with
Right.
Lalu in the pack, we had stupendous success. And I think that is something, a political acumen, that is something needs to be seen here. And that is why I thought he was so happy that his political acumen worked as far as the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar was concerned. And as far as piggybacking on the other two parties,
Right.
well, as you said, we've done far better than anyone expected us to do and even beat our own expectations. So obviously there is resurgence in the Congress party. We definitely need to work much harder. And as you said, there are elections coming up in Kerala and
Right.
Assam, where we've been in government. We definitely need to work harder there.
Okay, resurgence. It's a Congress resurgence. It's wonderful to see how politicians use every little bit to try and believe that they are still in the race, but it is a day for the Congress to celebrate. I'm just going to go across my panel to get their first reactions. If you were to summarize this in one big sentence, each of you, what is your one big takeaway? Starting with you, Raj.
One, of course, the quantum of victory is astonishing. And therefore, it means one, a revival of the opposition in a large manner, maybe a new grand alliance. Two, it diminishes Prime Minister Modi considerably. He will have to rethink his strategy or may not get 2019 as he'd hoped for.
First reactions.
Yeah, the one line is that Prime Minister Modi will now be seen as the most eminent chief minister that India has had amongst them, and he will have to contend with the likes of a Chandrababu Naidu, who's doing rather well, of a Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal and a Nitish Kumar, because in the parliament, if his opposition is not very strong, this would be the panchayat that would be meeting outside. There's no planning commission to put their demands to. They would be meeting outside and expect a lot of criticism.
So you see a revival of this chief ministers kind of conclave. You know, we've heard from various chief ministers, and we'll listen to Arvind Kejriwal and others in a moment.
The other part of this is, this winning of this election also tells us that if the BJP is to go to 2019, it needs to think of how to tackle the bottom of the pyramid. They still don't know how to put together a credible alliance that can pull them through here. Subcontracting to other smaller parties not going to work any longer.
In fact, the smaller parties have collapsed. Whether it's Kushwaha's party, whether it's the Hindustani Awam Morcha, they've all collapsed.
They need to get the aesthetics right. It's not even about the chemistry or the mathematics. The aesthetics of going to the poor. They need to wear party as one part of the picture of India. It's wealth and poverty, not just the wealth of nations.
Surjit.
Caste does not matter. Mathematics matters a lot more.
So you went 175 purely on the basis of maths?
No, I did, and I wrote it. So therefore, first of all, let me just say success has many fathers and failure has only one mother, okay? So therefore, everybody will have...
You remember the half an hour in the morning when we were threatening you with scrambled eggs?
I don't want to... But the point is that please, let's get away from caste. I mean, the Biharis have got away from caste. Why are we in the studios still harping on caste and the politicians? When will we learn? I mean, so therefore that's the first point. Then there is no lessons right now for Nitish and Lalu. Let them perform and then we'll see what lessons there are. But there are definite lessons. I'm shocked at the way the Congress is performing. I mean, they seem to have learned nothing. If you
mean performing after the victory?
If you did stitch the alliance, please keep quiet for one day. I mean, please keep quiet for 1 hour. I mean, these guys are saying, we brought about this victory. I mean, this is shameful, disgusting.
Okay, those are very strong words. I'll get RPN to react at some stage. Ashok, your first big takeaway.
Essentially, post 2014, from May 2014 onwards, electoral politics in this country has followed a certain logic. That logic is now over, and a new logic has taken over. The road from 2014, as I said, is over. The road to 2019, wherever that leads us, has begun. And you're certainly going to see regional parties coming together to try and stop Mr. Modi's advance and the BJP's advance.
So you see
the idea that the BJP would just keep growing and expanding while regional parties and the Congress just conveniently disappeared, I think that has been buried.
You know, in fact, Amit Shah spoke of a Congress Mukt Bharat and probably didn't realize that there are regional parties as well that exist in this country. Ajit Jha, quickly your first takeaway.
From 2014, a new trend has started in Indian politics, landslide victories. You got 2014 in the country, one in Delhi, and now in Bihar. And all three, it seems, was given on the base of good governance. In Bihar, it seems it's also on the base of gentlemanly politics. Negative campaign and hate campaign doesn't work, even in a poor state with a poor economy and caste-ridden politics.
Veer, your first takeaway.
Well, it's obvious who the victors are, whether Sujit wants to give Congress any credit or not, but it's clear who the loser is also, and the loser is Narendra Modi. He invested enormous political capital in this election. He's lost the election. He must therefore accept the responsibility. What this means is not just Nitish, Lalu and everybody else who's going to go for him. Judging by Rahul Gandhi's rhetoric, the Congress is going to step up the attack. But the real danger comes from within his party. When he had the political capital, when he could have made reforms, could have done things, he sat back. He did nothing. He's now out of political capital. He can't really push any reforms through. If he wants to take on the hard right, the Chaddiwalas, etc., he is no longer that great Olympian leader who could tell them to shut up. They're going to challenge his authority more and more.
That's interesting that you think it was a missed opportunity, particularly towards the end of 2014. Javed, your sense the Congress, has the opposition scented blood? I'm suddenly hearing from all kinds of people, from Sharad Pawar to Arvind Kejriwal to Mamta Banerjee. Each of them seems to have got a booster dose today. Are they going to go for the kill in this parliament session, try and wound up the Prime Minister further?
Well, absolutely. The myth of Mr. Narendra Modi's electoral invincibility has been busted. Nitish, this was a fight. It boiled down ultimately to a fight between Nitish and the Prime Minister. Nitish Kumar won.
But it was Bihar. It was a fight in Bihar. Let's be clear. It was not a fight for India.
Yes. And Mr. Modi lost. And Nitish Kumar could possibly emerge as the fulcrum of the opposition.
You really believe that?
I believe
you really believe that Nitish Kumar can emerge as the fulcrum for an opposition unity against...
Yes, there are a lot of things that could go wrong, but he could possibly emerge as the main challenger to Mr.
You second that. Okay, that's a good point on which to take a break, because when we return, we are going to look at why Nitish won. We've got 8 reasons that we are going to offer as to why Nitish won, and we believe he is really the man of the match. Yes, Lalu won more seats, he has a better strike rate, but without Nitish's X factor, which is credibility, perhaps this alliance could not have sustained in the manner it did. So we're going to look at those 8 X factors. As we head into the break, I want to play what Shatrughan Sinha has said. Remember, Shatrughan Sinha has been a rebel within the BJP. Patna Sahib MP didn't campaign. Today is his moment to make the point, Bihari versus Bahari. Listen into Shatrughan Sinha and then we are coming back with more.
बहुत बुरी हार हुई है बीजेपी की।
हाँ, उसमें तो दो राय नहीं है। हमारी अच्छी कोशिश के बावजूद और हमारे लोगों की भरपूर कोशिश के बावजूद कुछ कारण हैं जिसकी वजह से हम अपेक्षा पे खरा नहीं उतर सके और उतर सके और साथ ही साथ इतनी इस तरह से डिफीट की तो हमें भी आशा नहीं थी। ये जरूर